Running ever so slowly out of his penalty area, chipping it towards his near side, flicked on by Grimaldo, nodded down by Baku, but he's out of position because they've lost the ball there, but Leverkusen just happy to play it around the back for the moment in the opening stages of the game. Out wide here with Montreal Culbreth. Slipping was Palacios as he went for the switch of play, but he's found Teller nicely here on this near side, up against Baku. Driving past him, left-footed ball into the mixer. Shot came in from Schick. The rebound comes to Marza. He's charged down. They appeal for handball, but the referee, Tobias Welt, is unmoved. Counter-attack up the other way, led by Nusa. Trying to slide it through to Romulo, and he's inside the penalty area. Romulo shot into the side netting. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. Very, very end-to-end stuff right there. Romulo's strike into the side netting. I thought he'd found the top corner at the near post. But Leverkusen were asking the question of handball when Schick took aim first time round. Just watching Teller get past Baku, the low ball in. The shot comes in, it's straight into the thigh area, I thought, of Willi Orban. On second glance, it's hit him quite high up the body. But with the VAR having done the background check, Christian Dingert says you're fine to carry on, so no penalty, and it is simply just a goal kick, which Leverkusen plays short out towards the far side of the pitch, where Palacios plays it on to Culbreth, and Garcia played it into Schick. They've worked this really nicely here. There's a lot of space on this near side for Grimaldo to drive forward with it, chipping it over towards the far side. It's just over the head of Ibrahim Marza over there. And it goes out of play for a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch. Make that Montreal Culbreth, who is making the run for Grimaldo out there over on the far side. Throw-in to be taken by Finkgräfer, level with the 18-yard box, threw it in towards Schlager, but he's lost out there. Grimaldo picks it up about 40 yards from goal, plays it back to the centre circle, and out towards the far side it goes again. Kwanzaa gets it back from Palacios. Garcia dropping in to pick up the loose ball. Under pressure there from Schlager, who still continues to apply the pressure, but it's forced back by Tapsoba to his goalkeeper once again. Again, creeping out towards the edge of the penalty area. Plays it over to Andrich. And Kwanzaa over there on the far side touchline. Trying to dribble away from it. He's managed to win a throw-in out there. Nusa wasn't too pleased with the decision. There's a throw-in from Kwanzaa back towards his own goal. Robert Andrich brings it across to Garcia, who's dropped in as almost the third centre-back. As if Leverkusen didn't have three centre-backs already. Marza's dropped deep to pick up the ball. And he's chipped it over to this near side here. Grimaldo's taking it down nicely. Back towards the halfway line now with Tapsoba. Centre of the park, flick on from Grimaldo. Schick using his body. Went down there and he's won a free kick in a pretty good position. Orban was the man that committed the foul, and it's going to be a chance now for the set-piece genius that is Alejandro Grimaldo to whip a ball into the mixer, or maybe even take aim himself. Orban catching the left leg of Patrick Schick as he went down. The former Leipzig man, of course. Patrick Schick had his Bundesliga debut with RB Leipzig. Grimaldo's going to cross this one in deep towards the back post in the direction of Schick. It's flicked on the back post. It's kept alive. The strike came in from Marza. Again charged down. The appeals go out again for another handball. Nathan Teller wanted to take the throw in quickly, and Tobias Welt has just told him, hold up a second, we need to check this once more. It looked like it was Schlager that got in the way. Make that a combination of Finkgräfer and Bichiabu. This one does strike the arm of the Frenchman, but it's well down by his side, so no harm, no foul. Play continues on with Marza trying to chip one into the middle, and it's taken a deflection behind for a corner. First one of the game for Bayer Leverkusen. It's going to be one taken from the far side. In front of their Nordkurve. in front of the active fan scene. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from Grimaldo, right on top of the keeper. He's punched it up in the air, still inside the penalty area, and then Tobias Welz has signalled a high foot, I think, there against Robert Andrich. Just having a look at the replay, it was captain on captain, and yeah, the high foot as Schlager went for the header. The referee's going to call that every day of the week, so free kick for Leipzig inside their own half, and Ole Werner currently on a 5-game winning streak. First time for Leipzig since 2023 under Marco Rose. And in that time, that was in the spring of 2023, and then that time, at the end of that season, they went on to seal Champions League qualification. So that provides a good omen for Die Roten Bullen. 5 wins in a row in the Bundesliga and only 1 loss in the last 11 in the Bundesliga. Good work there from Tapsoba to get it away. And here goes Maza driving at the defence here of Leverkusen. The pass gets away from Maza, but he's going to chase this one and get there before Finkgräfer. Still driving with him, Maza. He goes down, and the referee waves his finger at Ibrahim Maza, saying no foul. And Leipzig clear their lines. Romulo coming deep to shield off the ball. Schlager trying to use his body against the pressing Teller. And it goes back now towards Bichiabu. Onward it goes to Baumgartner. Out wide to Nusa. He drives in field now. Nusa shifts onto the right foot. Slips as he took the shot on. And it's comfortably into the hands of Mark Flecken. Game started to open up a bit now. Both sides getting a few chances to go to bomb forward. Here is Palacios playing it towards this near side here with Tapsoba. Now at the feet of this Bayer Leverkusen captain Robert Andrich. And Leipzig just happy to sit back for the moment. Andrich just creeping a little bit closer with the ball towards the halfway line, forward towards Maza. And out to the far side touchline, Kolbreth. Plays it back in field now. Long switch of play from Maza towards his near side, taken down by Teller. Up against Baku, driving infield, looking to find Schick, but the pass gets away from the Czech international. And here come Leipzig, striding through the midfield is Schlager. Leaves it for Nusa to take over. Good footwork from Antonio Nusa, and he's kept it away nicely there from the press of Kolbreth. And Leipzig just keeping hold of the ball with Niklas Seiwald. Near side now with Baku. Loose ball from Diomande. Picked up by Garcia. Here is Grimaldo on this near side. Plays it back infield to Garcia. He looks to find Teller, making a great run forward on this near side touchline position. Towards the penalty area he goes. Shifts onto the left foot. Fizzes one across the box. There's no one there to tap it home. And it goes all the way behind for a throw-in. Kolbreth was coming in at the far post to maybe get a toe on it. But there was a lot of pace on that from Teller. And I think Kolbreth had just made in the wrong direction. And it's just an agonising inch away from Montrell Kolbreth. He gives him the thumbs up, and Kasper Hjulmand is applauding the perseverance from Teller to get that ball across. But no change to the scoreline after 10 minutes here at the Bayer Arena. Tapsoba strides forward with the ball. Plays it out towards the far side of the pitch. Kwanzaa just creeping forward with the ball. Andrich to the feet of Garcia and Palacios. And Leverkusen just happy to keep hold of the ball again. Kwanzaa will send it long down the line. Taken in stride by Teller really nicely. He gets nudged in the back. The referee doesn't award a free kick, interestingly. And that's angered a lot of the Leverkusen fans. Also angering Kasper Hjulmand, asking the fourth official why that wasn't a foul. Play continues with Leipzig driving the ball down the far side touchline. Finkgräfer losing out there. It's going to be a throw-in though for the visitors. Baumgartner will be the one to take it. Haven't seen much of Jan Diomande just yet. Leads the league in dribbles this season, as well as dribbles per 90. He set also a Bundesliga record with 106 successful dribbles. He's going to add to that right now here. Diomande plays it to this near side. Baku shifts onto his left foot, plays it back into the midfield. Back out to Diomande on this near side, driving in towards the penalty area, but Grimaldo sticks out a leg there. And the ball will trickle out of play for a throw-in. Can't quite see which direction the linesman on the near side had waved the flag in, but throw-in is awarded. It is going to be one for RB Leipzig. Right in front of their travelling support in the southwest contingent of the stadium. Throw-in is taken by Baku, gets it back from Diomande. Here he is again, Diomande. Trying to keep it away from Grimaldo. He's done well to nick it off him there, but the ball has fallen kindly for Diomande again. Baku has 3 Leverkusen players around him, and he's picked out one of them in Teller, giving the ball away. Leverkusen playing nice one-touch football to get it away from their penalty area, but Tapsoba, clean as you like, switches the play brilliantly out towards the far side, and Kulbrecht looks to take on past Finkgräfer. He's taken out, and that is going to be a yellow card for sure for Max Finkgräfer. He has no complaints whatsoever. And the Leverkusen fans were all up in arms. Young Kulbrecht got absolutely cleaned out there by Max Finkgräfer. No attempt to play the ball. And that is a pretty comfortable yellow card decision to go against the former Köln defender. Second booking of the season for Max Finkgräfer. Scored a goal last time out against Union. His first goal for the club, having joined, as I mentioned, in the summer from Köln. Free kick is taken backwards towards Tapsoba, chipped forward now by Kwanzaa, looking for Teller, but the pass was a little bit soft. Goes back all the way through now to Van der Voort, under pressure from Schick. He had to clear his lines quickly there. Nodded down by Grimaldo on this near side. Garcia finds Palacios, and over it goes towards Robert Andrich. Far side of the pitch, over the halfway line. Palacios plays it back into the Leverkusen half, and Tapsoba will bring it towards this near side. Garcia, on it goes to Teller. Shifting infield, crossfield switch from Garcia, who's inch perfect towards Kulbrecht, but he just misjudged the angle of the ball and it bounces off the top of his head. Out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. Level with the 18-yard box here for Finkgräfer, being heavily whistled by the Leverkusen fans. They know his past, of course. Garcia trying to feed one in there to Schick. It's well cleared there by Orban. It's all Leverkusen at the moment in the opening 15 minutes of the game. Still goalless though between Bayer 04 and RB Leipzig. Here is Maser dancing away from Baumgartner, but the Austrian held on to Maser for a bit too long there. Free kick taking quickly towards near side. Grimaldo plays it back to Aleix Garcia. Over the other side of the pitch now with the captain Andrich. Out towards the far side touchline. Kwanzaa chops back in onto his right foot. And all the way back now to the feet of Mark Flecken. Andrich plays it in field. Back it goes again to Flecken. Press being applied by Baumgartner. And Flecken will just open his body up and chip it forward towards his near side touchline. Palacios didn't bring it under control there, and Schlager can come with it here for Leipzig on this near side. Gets to the byline. The Leipzig captain plays it into the penalty area. Zeiwald poked it through. Baku's cut back. It falls kindly here to Romelu, and it's cleared off the line. Danger still not averted, but Zeiwald loses out, and now a counter is on here for Leverkusen. It's 4-on-4. Grimaldo driving on this near side. Onto Teller. Turns away from trouble. Plays it back down the line. Grimaldo, long crossfield switch over to the far side of the pitch. Kulbrecht in plenty of space, curls one towards goal, and the head of Bitshiabu is in the way. Danger is still not averted from a Leipzig point of view. Grimaldo, near side, up against Baku. Plays it backwards now to Tapsoba. Good to see Maza and Zeiwalder back up on their feet. Garcia out towards the far side. Colbreth plays it down the line for Maza. Low ball in towards Schick, and it's stabbed away by Orban at the last second. Glancing header from Garcia kept the ball in play, and the ball takes a nick off of Romulo on its way out for a throw-in, which Leverkusen take quickly, trying to capitalise on this nice bit of pressure. Andrich over towards the far side. Here is Garcia. Happy to stand on the ball is Jarell Kwanzaa. And on it goes towards his near side. Tapsoba gets it to the feet of Maza. He gets it away from danger. Here is Teller now. Maza makes an overlapping run. Plays it backwards instead to Grimaldo. He again goes for that crossfield ball, looking for Colbreth. Taken down nicely by the 18-year-old. Back in field now towards Palacios. Garcia. Kwanzaa takes over. Again here with Garcia. Low ball in. Lovely work. Kwanzaa's inside the penalty area, and he hits the side netting. He's appealing for a corner, but he's not going to get it. He found himself in an excellent position there, Jarell Kwanzaa, but he rifled it towards the near post, but only found the side netting. Some part of the stadium thought it was in, but it is a goal kick. Van der Voort will clear his lines. Long towards the far side of the pitch. Nusa took it down initially, but it's well recovered there by the aforementioned Kwanzaa. Here is Andrich. Under pressure from Romulo. Plays it forward down the line on the far side of the pitch. Nice one-touch football this from Leverkusen. And all of a sudden Colbreth is bracing away towards the penalty area. Chops in onto his left foot. Pulls the ball back to the edge of the D. It comes out as far as Maza. Shifts it onto his left foot. Chips one in. It took a deflection on its way through, I think. The ball's gone behind. I think they've actually given just a goal kick here. But a chance here for Romulo to give Leipzig the lead. Is shot straight at the man on the line. It wasn't any side of him, and that's a goal. And we're talking about a different game, but Aleix Garcia right on the line to clear the ball away. Big moment in the game there. And indeed it was a goal kick, which Leipzig have taken short. Baku with a heavy touch. Gets away with it there because it is a throw-in for Leipzig. Baku's just taking his time here before taking the throw-in. It's just a pop thrown to Schlager, who goes with a brilliant crossfield switch towards Nusa, who took it down nicely, but Colbreth did very well there to nudge the ball away from the Norwegian. Here is Aleix Garcia. Gets it back from Palacios. Towards the near side touchline now here with Grimaldo. Plays it across the pitch towards Palacios again. Just striding slowly with it once more. Turned around the corner by Garcia towards Grimaldo again on this near side. Has Teller as an option on this touchline, just in front of Hjulmann's technical area. And back it goes again to the feet of Edmond Tapsoba. Over towards the far side, Andrich. Play the ball in field there. Here is Palacios. Maza to the feet of Schick. Space opening up here for Schick. Out wide it goes to Colbreth. Schick's continues run into the middle. It's gone beyond him. Headed out by Vidla Baku. And Leipzig bring it under control with Romulo, but he's lost out there. Crossfield switch from Palacios towards his near side. Taken down by Teller as he kept it in play. He's done well enough. And the referee's awarded a free kick. Orban sliding in on Teller. Didn't get any of the ball. Yeah, that's going to be a free kick. Late challenge there from Willi Orban. He's going to have to be careful because he is nursing a suspension. One more yellow card for him or for Ridla Baku, and they will both be suspended for their final home game of the season against St. Pauli. Free kick basically in front of the corner flag here. Almost a corner, which Garcia swings in deep, headed back down towards the penalty spot, but it trickles wide of the far post. Patrick Schick was there, as he always is. Couldn't quite bring it down. The cameras have just panned to another legendary Leverkusen striker in the form of Rudi Völler, part of the German national team setup as one of the coaches and the selectors. He's in town to watch his former side today. Over on the far side of the pitch here with Antonio Nusa for Leipzig. Infield it goes. Schlager towards this near side now with Orban over the halfway line. Under pressure from Teller, has to turn back towards the middle of the pitch. Bichiabu over to the far side now with Baumgartner. And onto the touchline. Nusa coming infield away from Kohlbreth. Space opens up here for Schlager, about 30 yards from goal. Orban stands on the ball, turns away from trouble. Over to the far side, Bichiabu gets away from Maza. And Nusa up against Kohlbreth over on the far side. He followed the ball really well there, Antonio Nusa. He's dragged back by Montreal Kohlbreth, and the referee just waited to see if there was an advantage to be played. But it is a free kick for RB. Combination of Palacios and Kohlbreth couldn't bring down Nusa until the young 18-year-old just had to drag him back with the arm. Of course, in the reverse fixture between these two, Montreal Kohlbreth scored his first goal ever in professional football for Bayer Leverkusen. It's going to be a free kick over on the far side, which will be delivered left-footed by Finkgräfer. It's in towards a penalty spot. The header was there from Schlager, but he got it all wrong. And it's headed out of play for a goal kick. Made that Seiwald who got it all wrong. And Flecken wastes no time in clearing it long. Teller's found himself with a bit of space, and he reverses the ball into Maza, who's driving towards the penalty area. Maza still with the ball at his feet. Plays it out to Teller, who puts it across for Patrick Schick to score! A lethal attack from Bayer Leverkusen, finished off by you-know-who. Patrick Schick does it again. His 7th goal in 6 games for Bayer Leverkusen. That's his 14th of the season. And in 25 minutes, Bayer Leverkusen take the lead against RB Leipzig. What a lightning attack this was. Flecken wasted no time in clearing the ball long up to Teller. He had made the run brilliantly, and he turned the ball round for Maza, who was surrounded by 3 Leverkusen players. He managed to squeeze the ball out towards the far side. Teller plays it across, and it's a simple tap-in for Patrick Schick. Sliding in to beat the outstretched arms of Van der Voort. And Leverkusen lead by a goal to 0. Inch perfect counter from Kasper Hjulmann's side. And RB Leipzig's quest to get back into the Champions League just got that little bit harder. Patrick Schick, once again, does the job for Bayer Leverkusen. As I said, the 14th goal of the season for the Czech international, and that's 7 in his last 6 for Bayer Leverkusen. And as it stands, Leverkusen will jump up all the way to 4th place. If results stay as they are, they will move on to 58 points alongside Stuttgart and Hoffenheim. And they'll only be 4 points behind RB Leipzig. So the race for the final spot in the Champions League is really hotting up. Ball at the feet of Mark Flecken. He will clear it long in the direction of Teller. And he brings it down nicely. Teller drives it away from Orban. He got it through the legs, but ran out of road and loses the ball to a throw-in for RB. Yeah, as I said, RB Leipzig will be looking over their shoulders for that chasing pack, because they're all three of them, as it stands, are only 4 points behind them. So they could very well end up not getting a Champions League spot when it's all said and done at the end of the season. Of course, Bayer Leverkusen still have to play Stuttgart on the road. That's their next game. And that is a huge game in the European places talk. Foul over on the far side, a nudge in the back from Christoph Baumgartner on Ezequiel Palacios. So it's going to be a free kick for the home side, but once again, how quickly they turned defence into attack. It was remarkable. Flecken immediately wanted the ball from the ball boy after Schlager headed it wide of the target, and they turned that defence into attack so quickly. And Grimaldo chipped it into the penalty area. Maza has it on this near side. Out towards Teller now. Garcia. Reverse ball. Maza gets towards the byline. Tries to pull it back. And the last touch came off. It looks like it came off of Maza himself. No, he is pointed for a corner, actually. Orban looks like he needs a little bit of attention here. Let's just have a look. Yeah, it is definitely a corner. I think Orban just got a hit to the unmentionables whilst trying to block that Maza cutback. I shouldn't laugh, but yeah. It's not nice to see something like that. Always a bit nasty, but he put his body on the line there to get, or to try and win a goal kick. It is a corner, though, on this near side, which will be delivered by Aleix Garcia. Right-footed in-swinger. Left arm is raised. It's deep towards the back post. Headed back across by Tapsoba. Still alive for Teller to hit towards goal. And it deflects wide of the target. Or has he given a goal kick? From my position, that looked like it was deflected wide. We'll just have a look on the replay here. And it looks like Teller just dragged his effort wide of the target there. So, good decision in the end from Tobias Welz. And it is going to be a goal kick. Half an hour gone at the Bayer Arena. It is Bayer Leverkusen 1, RB Leipzig 0. Long ball pumped forward by Van der Voort. It's intercepted though by Leverkusen. And now here comes Maza again. Trying to turn away from Seiwald, but the young Austrian has done well there to win the ball. Now on the near side, Baku linking up with Diomande. And Baku's continued his run here up against Garcia. He's still got it here, Baku, but well covered off by Tapsoba. He clears it away from any sort of harm as Palacios comes to this near side to clear the ball long. And all of a sudden, Teller's racing away. And there's no one back here for Leverkusen. Nathan Teller racing towards goal. The angle's tight. The shot is saved. The rebound comes to Schick. And it's cleared off the line brilliantly. El Chadil Bichiabu with a wonderful block to deny Patrick Schick a second. Goodness me. Another lethal Leverkusen counter, which almost resulted in a second goal. Teller was racing towards goal. The angle got tight, and Van der Voort made the save. The rebound comes out to Patrick Schick. Van der Voort makes himself big, and I think Van der Voort, it went through his legs, but Bichiabu sticks his left foot out to clear the ball off the line. It was such good anticipation from the young Frenchman. And Kasper Hjulman has fallen to his haunches. Corner to be swung in towards the near post. It's flicked on there by Kwanzaa, but it's gone over the bar and behind for a goal kick. But this Leverkusen team on the counter is one of the most dangerous in the Bundesliga. Xaver Schlager at the moment is just clutching his chin, his face. I think he took a whack to the face off of Robert Andrich, but he seems to be okay. Tobias Welz just wants to retake the goal kick. Well, yeah, he just wants to retake the goal kick here because he wasn't ready with the whistle. Now we can take it as Van der Voort will play it towards his near side. Orban under all sorts of pressure from Teller. He's tripped up there. Ball's still in play. And Leverkusen can drive forward with it. Grimaldo into the penalty area. It bounces out towards the edge of the D. Garcia onto Colbreth. Kwanzaa's made an overlapping run. Over on the far side. Kwanzaa infield. Garcia slipped as he got there. Palacios keeps it alive. Schick towards his near side, but it bobbles kindly for Baku, and Leipzig can break away. Led by Schlager, who slides it through to Romulo. Tapsoba trying to get across, and he's done brilliantly. Really good defensive work from Edmund Tapsoba to come across there. Because all of a sudden Romulo was racing through and he would have been one-on-one, and Tapsoba celebrates it like it's a goal. Really good work from Tapsoba, and in fact he's going to win the throw-in as well, because the last touch came off of Romulo. And Flecken knows how vital that was. Throw-in to be taken by Kwanzaa over on the far side. Crossfield switch now towards Grimaldo, who opens his body up and drives with the ball on this near side. Over halfway, infield to Schick. And now here's Teller, near side touchline. Baku gets back to do some defensive work. He goes all the way to the halfway line. And now here's Palacios. Inside the centre circle now with Kwanzaa over towards the far side, and Colbreth onto Maza up against Bichiabu. Maza drifts away from him, pulls it back for Schick inside the penalty area. He couldn't get the touch on it, and Leipzig still can't run away with the ball. Palacios slides it through. Maza, flag stays down for the moment. Maza tries to chip it back in, and it goes behind for another corner. Baumgartner is furious with the referee. He had to get back and put his body on the line. But Leverkusen are ruthless at the moment. Another corner over on the far side, and the Nordkurve is bouncing behind Martin van der Voort's goal. It's going to be another in-swinger from Grimaldo. It's played short instead, actually, to Garcia, who plays it back to Grimaldo. First time ball in, headed clear at the front post. Only as far as Colbreth. Andrich stands it up towards the back post. Van der Voort came and clutched up the ball immediately. And it's rolled out towards his near side. Baku sends the ball to Diomande. Played back to Schlager. And he's brought the game to a standstill almost. Baumgartner out towards the far side. 10 minutes to go to the half-time whistle. A half dominated by the Leipzig, or by the Leverkusen counter attacks here. Pinkgräfer. Here's Diomande on this near side. Up against Grimaldo. Infield it goes now to Schlager. Seiwald receives it from Schlager again. The skipper plays it out towards the far side. Bichiabu has Nusa out there as well. Here is Antonio Nusa up against Colbreth. Driving infield now Schlager. Back it goes to Bichiabu. And now here is Orban towards the near side. Now with Diomande up against Grimaldo. Infield it goes, edge of the penalty area. Schlager lets it run. Nusa tries to poke it back through, but too many bodies in there. The ball gets lost and goes out of play for a goal kick. Kasper Hjulmand said that his aim was to always play his own game, and he described it before kickoff today as the game going to be an open game, but also a close game, in the sense that these two sides would be counter-attacking each other, and boy did he get that right. Here goes Maza now on the far side, has Colbreth over there too, plays it back infield towards Palacios, and Garcia shaped to play it out towards this near side touchline, but instead stays on the halfway line. Turns the ball infield now to Maza, has Schick running ahead of him. Maza continues on and on, still driving into the D. He goes down. Referee says no foul. Schlager under pressure, loses out there to Teller, high up the pitch. Maza's taken over, sliding one through towards Teller, but a great interception from Bichiabu allows Pinkgräfer to clear his lines. And Andrich was taken out there by Romulo. That was a late one from the Brazilian. Kicked out at Andrich and his right ankle. He's not going to be booked here, is the Brazilian. There wasn't anything in that really as in terms of a booking offence for the Brazilian forward. Good decision, I think, in the end from Tobias Welz, just to be a free kick. And that's all it is. Andrich just a little bit slow to get back up, but he is fine, and we are back underway again. With the ball at the feet of Ezequiel Palacios. Plays it out to Andrich now over on the far side of the pitch. On to Culbreth. He's lost out there. Kwanzaa had made a run forward. He's trotting back to his defensive position. Orban has it now. Over to Bichiabu, who's been really, really good in the heart of the Leipzig defence. Good turn from Baumgartner. Driving through the centre circle and plays it to this near side. Baku, long strides forward with it. On it goes to Diomande on this near side. Has Grimaldo and Teller for company. Diomande shifts it over to Zeiwald. Further on to Bichiabu. Infield again to Schlager. Zeiwald. Baku. And again with Zeiwald. Schlager in the centre of the pitch. Onto the far side of the penalty area. The shot comes in and it's just wide of the target. From Max Finkgräfer it was. He's got his tail up after having scored a perler on Friday night. Good turn from Finkgräfer to get away from Kwanzaa, and he shot across goal, hoping to find the far corner. It's just curled a metre or two wide of that far post. Good effort though from Finkgräfer. Play gets back underway. Chip ball forward from Grimaldo. Schick went down. Play continues though for Leipzig, for Leverkusen. There is a Leipzig player down though. Garcia goes for a long switch of play out towards the far side. Nodded down by Kwanzaa. Schlager it was the man down. He's trying to run off the injury, but he is back up and moving. Towards this near side touchline with Teller. 5 minutes to go to the break. Still that 1-0 is the scoreline. Long switch of play again from Grimaldo, looking to send Marza on his way. Make that Culbreth over on the far side. Back it goes towards Kwanzaa. Infield to Palacios. Kwanzaa continued his run, but goes back out to Culbreth. Grimaldo has found himself over on the far side of the pitch. Garcia. And Kwanzaa again. Here is Garcia once more. Out towards the far side again with Jarrell Kwanzaa. Infield to Marza. He tried to flick round the corner. Bichiabu was strong in the challenge and won it back. Here is Schlager. He seems to have run that injury off pretty well. Orban has it on this near side. Towards Baku now. Plays the ball infield. Zeiwald into the centre circle now. Picked up by Baumgartner. Turns away from trouble and plays the ball out wide. Zeiwald has it once more. Near side of the centre circle. Orban to the near side touchline. Diomande drives infield with the ball. Pokes it out wide now for Baku to cross one in towards the far post. Headed clear by Culbreth. Only as far as Finkgräfer. And it's hit the post. Cleared away by Culbreth. That's another opportunity for Finkgräfer. And Leipzig still have the ball deep in the Leverkusen half. Near side here with Diomande. Infield to Baku. Towards Schlager. He takes aim and it's just drifted wide of the post. It might have taken a nick off of one of his other teammates on the way through. But it's just a whisker away from Tavas Schlager. Take a look at the area, and indeed it bounced off the legs of Romulo, which took it closer to the post than it probably should have gone. But indeed it is a goal kick, which Flecken will play out towards the far side now here with Andrich. Kwanzaa plays a loose ball, and that's picked up now inside the penalty area by Diomande, but the loose ball from the Ivorian is seized upon by Leverkusen's defence, and they hook it away. Leipzig are getting a couple of openings here. Finkgräfer will drive forward with the ball over on the far side now. On it goes to Nusa. Maza and Coldbreath are there for company. Turn back towards Bichiabu. Orban towards this near side touchline. Here's Diomande getting more and more involved in the game. Shimmying away from Grimaldo into the penalty area. Feeds it back towards him. Diomande tried to get it through to Baku. He couldn't bring it under control. Schlager picks it up though. On the near side touchline. Down the line it goes. Orban will whip one in deep towards the back post. It goes beyond everyone. And that will go out harmlessly for a throw-in. Leverkusen fans clapping along, enjoying what they've seen so far, although Leipzig have got back into the game a little bit more frequently, so it's all about seeing out this first half. Kwanzaa strides forward with the ball to take the throw in short to Maza. He gets it back and sends it long, looking for the run of Teller. It's nodded back by Orban into the hands of his goalkeeper Martin van der Voort. And now here is Niklas Seiwald. Gets it back from Schlager. Now he goes towards the far side of the pitch. It's back in field again to Nicky Seiwald. Orban will jog with the ball towards this near side touchline. Here's Diomande. Baumgartner made the run ahead of him. Instead he goes infield to Schlager. And he'll chip it over towards the far side. But that's overhit from the Leipzig captain in the direction of Antonio Nusa. Throw in over on the far side of the pitch for Bayer Leverkusen. About halfway inside their own half. Long ball from Kwanzaa. Turned away by Schick. And all of a sudden Maza can run onto this. Bichiabu tugging at the shirt, but Maza still goes on into the penalty area. Tries to get the shot away. But Bichiabu's done exceptionally well again to put his body on the line. And it's going to be another corner over on that far side of the pitch. The counter-attacking display from Bayer Leverkusen has been superb in this game. 12 shots already in this first half compared to Leipzig's 6. 32 dangerous attacks so far. It's going to be another left-footed in-swinger from Grimaldo. It's in towards the 6-yard box. Thumped away by Orban. Picked up here now by Garcia. Towards the far side of the pitch. He's going to shape up to whip one in. Into the area! And there's the second! Nathan Teller tucks away the second goal for Bayer Leverkusen right on the stroke of half-time. And that is a sucker punch to Leipzig's Champions League hopes. The corner was cleared away only as far as Palacios, who nodded it down towards Garcia. Now we'll see the question of offside. No offside because Schlager was playing everyone on. It looked like Orban fell asleep, lost his man. It was a brilliant ball in from Garcia, and Teller just could not miss. Left-footed, side-foots it into the back of the net. And that is a second for Bayer Leverkusen. A first goal of the season for Nathan Teller to go alongside his assist today. And Kasper Hjulmand absolutely loves it on the touchline. Bayer Leverkusen 2, RB Leipzig 0. We're well into stoppage time. I didn't see how much added time we were getting because the goal went in right on the 45th minute mark. But we continue to play on as Flecken just strides closer and closer to the edge of his penalty area. Or Diomande applies some pressure to force Flecken into picking the ball up. He'll drop it down again to make space for him to kick this one long. It's angled towards this near side. Schick is the target again. Headed up and away by Orban, taken down by Grimaldo. Poke back to Tapsoba. And across the pitch it goes to Kwanzaa. Culbreath makes himself available. Plays it back to Kwanzaa. And a look at the wrist. Sees the end of the first half at the Bayer Arena. And it's been one-way traffic. Bayer Leverkusen have dominated this first half. Possession, corners, shots, attacks, you name it. They've been all over the Roten Bullen. Patrick Schick opened the scoring in the 25th minute, and right on the stroke of half-time, Nathan Teller gave us the second goal, which sees the half-time scoreline at the Bayer Arena of Bayer Leverkusen 2. And a warm welcome back to the Bayer Arena, or just a stone's throw away from the famous Rhine River in Germany. The course is through the heart of the German football super corridor, passing the likes of Cologne, Düsseldorf and Duisburg before splitting off into its various tributaries, where we get the Ruhr Valley region, where the proper football heartbeat of Germany lies. We are, as I said, just a stone's throw away from the Rhine in Leverkusen, where Bayer Leverkusen lead by 2-0 against RB Leipzig as we approach the start of the second half here in the Topspiel of matchday 32 in the Bundesliga. My name is Jasmin Nellis-Erik, delighted to continue on with the second half with you. And right at the start of this second half, Ole Werner has decided to ring the changes immediately. I see Brian Gruda and Castello Luqueba coming on for the home side. One of the players withdrawn, one for the away side rather. One of the players withdrawn was Antonio Nusa, so that's a straight swap between himself and Brian Gruda. I couldn't quite see who the other change was, but it is Castello Luqueba coming on, as RB Leipzig will kick us off in this second half by kicking from right to left, as we see it in the commentary position. Ball is played back towards the centre halves and then towards this near side touchline, where Diomande will feed it back down the line towards Finkgräfe and back now into the path of Castello Luqueba. Looks like El Chadil Bichiabu was the player withdrawn, so a straight swap on the flanks and in defence. And here is Schlager, who plays it out to Brian Gruda. Has got Baku on the overlap. Gruda instead shifts onto his left foot, tries to curl one in. His shot is blocked, and then Diomande tries to curl one with his right foot, but that was always rising high and wide. And it goes behind for a goal kick. First opportunity inside the first 50 seconds of the first half. Falls away of Jan Diomande, who's now come over to this near side to partner Finkgräfe on the left, with Brian Gruda going to his more natural right wing position. So it's going to be a goal kick. Robert Andrich just having a word or two with one of the ball handlers. Wonder if someone got hit behind the goal there from the Diomande shot. Leipzig just asking a question of time wasting here. Eventually Flecken gets on with it and pumps it long down the middle of the field, looking for Teller. Thumped away by Orban in the middle of defence. Picked up here by Maza. Poked out wide by Schick, but it's intercepted by Baku. And here come Leipzig over the far side of the pitch. Comes back in towards the halfway line. Gruda with a nice ball. Romulo feeds to Baumgartner. And now here on the near side it's Diomande. Up against Kwanzaa. The Ivorian plays it into the centre. Romulo with a nice touch. Took it away from goal. Back to Diomande. Inside the penalty area. Tried to lift it over the leg of Garcia. Ball stays alive here on this near side with Finkgräfe. Pokes it back down the line. And now here is Niklas Seiwald. Into Schlager's path. Luqueba. And now here is Niki Seiwald. Forward it goes to Baumgartner under pressure. Has to prod it to Diomande. Romulo lets it run, but it's gone straight through to Tapsoba. Kwanzaa's clearance takes deflection. Kolbreth knocks it on. Maza flicks it even further onto Schlager, but it's well won back by Leipzig. Orban brings it towards this near side, where Luqueba continues to get a bit of action with the ball at his feet. Drives infield the young Frenchman. Over it goes to the far side of the pitch now. Here's Gruda. Alone from Brighton up against Grimaldo. Shifts onto that left foot, chips one in. Headed away by Andrich. Taken down by Teller inside the penalty area, but then Grimaldo steps in and Teller now can clear his lines, but it's only as far as Orban, who's advanced up the pitch and into the penalty area, feeds the chance for the shot, which is deflected wide. Romulo had the chance there, but Leverkusen get the bodies in the way, and Leipzig at the first corner of the second half. It was Andrich that stretched out his right leg to divert it away from danger, But early signs for the visitors here. It's going to be the first corner of the second half for the visitors. Going to be an in-swinger from the far side. I think it's going to be Gruda over there to take it. Make that Finkgräfer, the left back, who's gone over to take it. Just being told to wait here by the linesman there because the referee Tobias Wertz just wants to have a chat with Seiwald and Kohlbreth inside the 6-yard box. It's just the usual issues that you get in a packed out penalty area for a corner. So take two then. As I said, it's a packed out 6-yard box, left-footed in-swinger from Finkgräfer. It's towards the penalty spot. Orban went up. It bounces off of a Leverkusen head. Yes, it took a while for Tobias Wertz to come to a decision, but it did bounce off of a Leverkusen head. It's going to be another corner for Leipzig. Same deal again. Packed out 6-yard box. Finkgräfer to take it. Left-footed in-swinger. Right arm raised. In it goes from Finkgräfer onto the penalty spot. It went over the head of Orban and almost found its way through to Romelu. It goes beyond everyone. Picked up here on the near side though by Diomande. Up against Teller. Gets it infield to Schlager. Diomande carried on his run. Schlager gets it up byline, pulls it back. Ball stayed in play. I think Leverkusen thought it went out of play, but now the referee has said the ball's gone out of play and it is going to be a goal kick. For a moment, the Leverkusen players just stood still, assuming the ball had gone out of play and assuming they'd hear the referee's whistle. And on the replay pictures, it's pretty clear that the ball did go out of play. It was just a delayed reaction from the assistant there. So the goal kick was played short by Tapsoba to Flecken, and he will chip it forward in the direction of Schick. It's nodded down by Lukeba, thumped away by Aleix Garcia. Nodded down though by Finkgräfer. Diomande loses out though, and here goes Kohlbreth. Has options to the right. Kwanzaa is one of them. Still going with the ball, Kohlbreth. Plays it infield now to Teller. Out towards the far side, Grimaldo. Leipzig get the numbers back. And Leverkusen just slow the tempo down ever so slightly. Here is Tapsoba. Onwards to Palacios. Maza. Turning around the corner. Schick had a lot of space there, but they couldn't quite connect. Leverkusen win it back though. Palacios. On to Kohlbreth, who's made a run towards the byline, who chips it in towards Schick at the back post. It's gone beyond him, and the volley from Grimaldo is high into the south stand. And that'll be a goal kick. Again, Patrick Schick being the target of these crosses. It was a floater in there from Kohlbreth. It took an age for Schick to rise and get on the end of that one, but he couldn't connect. And ultimately a goal kick was the outcome. Maza will have it under control here. Kohlbreth trying to take it away from Schlager. He's lost out here. And now all of a sudden Diomande tries to turn away. He goes down. Referee says play on. Seiwald out towards the far side of the pitch. It's intended for Baku, but Grimaldo steps across. Pokes it out play for a throw-in. Taken by Baku, back towards the halfway line. Here is Schlager. Inside the centre circle now with Lukeba. Flick round the corner from Baumgartner. I think Romelu was in an offside position there. The ball gets away. And now here goes Garcia. Has to turn away from trouble. Tapsoba. Driving forward with the ball. Closing in on the halfway line. Out it goes on to Teller. Tapsoba continued his run here. And he's still going. Whips one into the centre for Schick. That's a great save from Van der Voort. And down goes Lukeba on the edge of the penalty area. It's going to be a free kick for Leipzig. But that was a great stop from the Belgian keeper. Great run from Tapsoba. He continued on and put in a brilliant cross for Schick, who used his left foot to try and place it in the bottom corner. But Van der Voort made himself big and prevented the Czech international from adding to his tally today. Free kick here for Leverkusen. Just about a couple of paces away from the halfway line. It's under the control of Aleix Garcia, as it usually is when it concerns a right footer. Over to Tapsoba, and now here's Grimaldo. 3 Leipzig players engaging with a press. Tapsoba has to go all the way back here to Flecken. And running across the face of his goal, he kicks it long in the direction of Schick. Headed away by Orban. Taken down now by Maza on this near side. Loose ball though from the Algerian, picked up by Romulo. Schlager keeps it away from the pressing Palacios. Over towards the far side. It's a little bit short, but Baku has managed to regain the ball. Teller might have caught Riedler Baku in the process, so free kick has been awarded there for Leipzig. Towards this near side now with Lukeba. Diomande uses body well and dribbles away from Kulbreath and drives on with the ball. Diomande into the penalty area. Gets it to Finkgräfer. Low ball in. Cleared away by Andrich. And Kulbreath further away. Schick can't turn away from the trouble. And now here come Leipzig again. Seiwald. On to Diomande. Comes to a standstill before playing it backwards. Lukeba. On to Orban. Here's Baku now. Picked up again by Orban, sliding one through. Romulo turns it around the corner. Baumgartner has it inside the penalty area. And the last touch came off of a Leverkusen man. There's going to be yet another Leipzig corner. From the far side once more. We've seen Diomande switch flanks here. And is starting to give him some more benefits. Taking on the more inexperienced Kulbreath. He's having a bit more joy on this near side. Alongside Finkgräfer. Finkgräfer will take this corner again. Left-footed in-swinger towards the back post, but there's no one there in a white shirt, and that will just bounce beyond everyone out of play for a goal kick. I think all of the Leipzig players just had a look around at each other asking, well, who was supposed to be there? No one was in the end, but another look at this brilliant cross from Tapsoba. It was right onto Schick's foot, where he sort of shinned it actually towards the bottom corner, and it's the left forearm of Van der Voort that knocked it away from danger. Long ball then. Turned around the corner by Teller onto Ibrahim Maza over on the far side here for Leverkusen. Infielder comes to Palacios. Back out wide it goes towards Teller. He's still holding the ball, Teller. Curls one towards goal, but it's comfortably grasped by Van der Voort. I thought for a second he'd lost out there to Baku, but he did well to regain possession. But it was straight down the midriff of Van der Voort. And this ball is chipped down the line by Lukeba. Stabbed away by Kwanzaa, but picked up by Leipzig. And now all of a sudden space is opened up over on the far side. Baku plays it into the path of Gruda. Baku's continued his run, overlapping. Gets the ball back from Gruda, and the final touch came off of Baku. Good sliding challenge from Grimaldo, and he riles up the Nordkurve. The sliding challenge, winning the ball and then hitting it into Riedler Baku, and he's celebrating it like it's a goal as well. Leverkusen love that passion from their left wing back. He's got the ball now immediately off of the goal kick from Flecken. He's chipped it down the line as Grimaldo in the direction of Schick, who couldn't bring it under control. Here is Schlager now in the middle of the park here for Leipzig, out towards the far side of the pitch. On to Gruda out there, level with the 18-yard box, up against Grimaldo, who's chipped back now towards the halfway line. Still in the Leverkusen half. Orban comes more centrally and brings it out towards this near side. Here is Diomande up against Kulbreath. Turns the ball infield here to Seiwald. A space over on the far side for Gruda if they can find him. Lukeba now sees Gruda in all that empty space. It's a superb pass from Lukeba. Gruda brought it down brilliantly. Pull back here to Baku, who curls one towards goal. Blocked by Tapsoba. Comes back to Gruda. Baku's there with him. Gruda still shaping up for an angle. Lovely ball from Romelu back through to Gruda, but the touch gets away from the young German. And it goes behind for another goal kick. Leipzig have been very lively in the opening 15 minutes or so of this second half. The scoreline still remains Leverkusen 2, Leipzig 0. Tapsoba looks like he's going to take the goal kick himself, and he will play it towards this near side for Andrich, who will then chip it down the line looking for the run of either Kohlbreth or Schick. It finds neither. Headed away by Orban and kept in play by Baumgartner. All the way back through now to Martin van der Voort. Played short now to Lukeba. Dribbles away from Marza. Really nicely there does Lukeba. Switches the play. Out towards the far side. Taken down by Baku. Plays it out wide. Kuda. He's gone for the crossfield switch in the direction of Diomande. He's just taken a touch off of Kohlbreth's head there and gone out of play for a throw-in. Pinkgräfer will take the throw-in off of Diomande's hands, gets it to Lukeba, and he'll receive it back. Infield it goes to the captain Schlager. Seiwald over towards the far side of the pitch now. Gruda up against Grimaldo, pokes it on. Baku. Bit of a heavy touch there from the German international. It goes across the back line again. Here's Seiwald. Lukeba chipping one forward, looking for the run of Gruda, but it's just overhit. And the ball will trickle out of play for a goal kick. An hour gone at the Bayer Arena. Half an hour to play. And it looks like Ole Werner's readying another set of changes. I think I see Konrad Harder and Assan Ouedraogo ready to come on for Die Roten Bullen. Kasper Hjulmand hasn't needed to go to his bench just yet. Kwanzaa wins a throw-in again on this near side, and I think we might see those changes now from Leipzig. Romelu just asking a question of why they aren't taking this throw-in quickly. We're not going to see those changes just yet. Kwanzaa will take a long throw-in. Schick went for the flick on. Instead, he's found the ball out wide, and Grimaldo's in acres of space. There's options going through the middle here for Grimaldo. He drives on with it. Teller picks it up now. Out towards the far side, Andrich plays it infield. Palacios, Teller, turn around the corner. Schick has a chance. Still Patrick Schick, who gets the shot away, and it's deflected over the bar. I think he waited a bit too long to get the shot away, and in the end, there was a body in the way there for RB Leipzig, and the first corner of the second half for Leverkusen incoming. I think a combination there of Lukeba and Seiwald sent the ball over the bar. Get a great view of it from the ref cam angle we have on the monitor in front of me here. It is going to be a corner. It's a packed out 6-yard area again. It's going to be right-footed in-swinger from Aleix Garcia. It's right on top of Van der Voort. It was tipped by the keeper, and it will be tipped behind for yet another corner. He wasn't sure where that was going, Martin van der Voort. Had to get a fingertip to it. And behind it goes for another corner. Leverkusen fans in good voice at the moment. Don't really hear a peep out of the Leipzig fans so far. They haven't had much to celebrate about, in fairness to them. It has been all Leverkusen so far. Grimaldo will take this corner. Left-footed in-swinger towards the near post. It goes on towards the back post. It's headed clear. Only as far as Garcia. Andrich recovers. The ball comes out towards his near side again here with Grimaldo. Plays it back to the feet of Palacios. Leverkusen just happy to keep hold of the ball. Forward down the line by Grimaldo. Marza turns away from trouble really nicely. Pokes it on. Garcia has Pinkgräfer retreating for Leipzig. Switches the play towards Palacios. He plays it out towards the far side. Tapsoba comes back the other way. Montreal Culbreth. Garcia back to Culbreth again. Kwanzaa's up there for support as well on the near side touchline, almost as a right winger here, Jarrell Kwanzaa sometimes. Garcia will just chip it all the way back to Flecken in goal, and he will search for the ball out towards the far side of the pitch. Thumped away by Baku, and the chase is on here for Baumgartner. Make that Gruda over on the far side. Gets away from one, and he goes down and wins a free kick. Tapsoba was the man who fouled Brian Gruda. He had 2 goes at the on-loan Brighton winger, and he caught him both times. So we are going to see the double change now. Romulo is going to come off for Konrad Harder. Straight swap up front and a straight swap in midfield too. The change that was made prior to kick-off, Niklas Zeiwald coming in for Hassan Ouedraogo. That is now reversed. Ouedraogo comes on in place of Niklas Zeiwald. So slightly more attacking midfielder coming on now for Leipzig, and of course a like-for-like up front in the form of Konrad Harder. Free kick to be taken on this far side by Max Finkgräfer. He's going to be a left-footed one. He chips one in. It's too far into the hands of Flecken, and he will look to distribute it quickly, and Culbreth is on his way, racing with the ball. He left the ball behind for a second, recovers it. Maza, lovely turn from Maza, driving with the ball infield now, out towards the far side. Here is Teller, looking for the overlapping run from Grimaldo, but it's well read over on that far side by Baku. And Schlager's there to clean up the danger. Back it goes to Van der Voort. And now here is Castello Luqueba. Played forward towards the far side with Baku. On it goes to the touchline. Gruda. Infield to Ouedraogo. Back out wide with Rila Baku. His cross is blocked. Out of play for another throw-in. Maza we just got another replay of Maza's superb turn away from Brian Gruda. Cross comes in, it's cleared away by Leverkusen, picked up by Gruda initially, but then he fouls Teller in the process, and it's going to be a free kick for Leverkusen. Yeah, and Gruda just kicking Nathan Teller there. I know he was going for the ball for sure, but just unfortunate there. And I think Tobias Welz is just going to have a word with Nathan Teller and Xaver Schlager. Schlager seems to have some sort of problem with Nathan Teller. Not quite sure what's been said or what's been done, but Tobias Welz is having a deep discussion with the pair of them. Just gave that signal of enough is enough to the pair of them. So free kick, which Tapsoba has chipped forward, will have to be retaken because Tobias Welz didn't like the position of where the free kick was taken. So Teller was racing in behind yet again there. But they'll have to regroup. Tapsoba will instead play it forward towards Maza over the halfway line. It ends up at the feet of Tapsoba again, but he's lost out. Harder has won it back. Gruda sends it down the line for Konrad Harder. Up against Tapsoba. Pokes it back to Baku. His pass is intercepted though by Grimaldo. And Maza will play it to the feet of Tapsoba, and he'll feed it into Patrick Schick. And he'll turn it around the corner for Grimaldo to run with. And he'll go with a crossfield switch, bringing Culbreth into play on this near side. Montreal Culbreth. Infield to Teller. And it's slowed right down again at the feet of Kwanzaa. Andrich over to Tapsoba again. Grimaldo infield, loses out there to Schlager. He gets nudged in the back by Teller. That's going to be a free kick, which they take quickly to Leipzig. Now to go to the far side here. with Gruda up against Maza. Has Baku on the overlap if he wants to use him. Instead, feeds the ball infield. Diomande, edge of the penalty area. His threaded pass is intercepted as well. And Leverkusen just being a little bit shaky at the back here. Kulbrecht down the line can send Patrick Schick on his way. Up against Schlager, but the Leipzig captain does well to deal with the danger. Out it goes for a throw-in on this near side. Ole Werner continuing to encourage his side here. And Kasper Hjulmand is just watching on as Moncho Kulbrecht takes his time with taking this throw-in. Hasn't looked to his bench just yet, the Dane. There are plenty of options for him as well to bring on, with the likes of Christian Kofane, who was a question mark coming into this game as well. He is available on the substitutes bench, so too Malik Tillman, Ernest Poku and Jonas Hofmann, should they need any more attacking output. At the moment they look pretty set with 20 minutes to go here at the Bayer Arena. Still Leverkusen 2, Leipzig 0. Out towards the far side now here with Baku. Gruda couldn't bring it under control there though. Here's going to be a throw-in over on that far side, which Grimaldo was going to take, but he's going to leave it now to another teammate of his to take it. It's going to be Tapsoba, who does possess a very long throw in him. He fakes the long throw and goes backwards instead. Nice pass there from Tapsoba into the path of Grimaldo, who pokes it away from one, and now all of a sudden he's driving through the middle of the pitch. Has Kulbrecht on this near side. Here is Moncho Kulbrecht, who went for goal. He went for the near post and it's gone over the bar. He appeals for a corner, but his appeals are confidently denied by the referee. Maybe a fingertip from Van der Voort sent it over the bar. I think so. But it is ever so slight of a fingertip. Would have been tough to overturn that one from the referee's point of view. Leverkusen continue on with it. Grimaldo turns it round the corner. Maza sends Kulbrecht on his way, and Grimaldo streaking through the middle. Kulbrecht chops back, drives into the penalty area. Back he goes to Schick on the edge of the D. He goes down inside the D, and that's going to be a free kick. Right in the middle of the D, and this is Grimaldo territory if you are Bayer Leverkusen. I just wonder if Kulbrecht could have just whipped that into the centre where Grimaldo was running free as a bird. He pulled it back to the edge of the D instead, and Schick went down under a challenge inside the D. It was a good chop in the end from Kulbrecht to set up this opportunity, as Schick almost lost control of it, and then in comes Schlager just straight through the back of Patrick Schick. And here's a yellow card that's been shown to the Leipzig skipper. He continues to protest his innocence. He has a word with Patrick Schick over the challenge, but there's nothing he can do about it. And as I said, this is Grimaldo territory. It is dead centre inside the D. Maybe ever so slightly to the right. But as we look at it, the Spider Cam has just done a great shot of it. It really is dead centre of the goal. And this usually spells danger when you are an opposing wall in front of an Alejandro Grimaldo free kick. We wait for the whistle from Tobias Welz. The draft excluder is in place here for RB Leipzig. The whistle is blown. Grimaldo steps up and fires it onto the roof of the net. He almost went for a dinked effort there, Grimaldo. Just got a bit too much height on it. And to be fair, it would have been very difficult to get it up and over the wall. He got some dip on it, to be fair, Grimaldo. But he couldn't quite get enough of it. Another free kick here on this near side for for Leverkusen. It's Palacios that's won the free kick. Still no sign of any movement on the bench here for Bayer Leverkusen. They're happy to continue as they are, as Andrich will play the free kick short to Tapsoba. Back it goes from Andrich towards Garcia. Turn around the corner brilliantly by Marza. And Teller sends Patrick Schick on his way, who gets away from one, and Schick is racing in on goal. He taps it behind Martin van der Voort, and it's an inch away from finding the bottom corner. It just trickled wide of the far post. And unfortunately for Schick, it still remains 2-0 with 15 minutes to go. Here is Baku over on the far side for Leipzig. Infield it comes now to Schlager inside the centre circle. Back out towards the far side it goes. Onto the touchline now. Gruda, about 30 yards from goal, still on that far side touchline, up against Grimaldo. Comes back infield. Schlager plays it back to Orban, and over to the far side again now with Gruda. Orban had continued his run. Baku picks up the pieces. Schlager gets it to Baku once more. Here is Finkgräfer on this near side. Diomande. Haven't heard much of him as the game's progressed in this second half. Lukeba has to go back towards the centre circle. Baku over towards the far side. Orban. He'll chip one into the penalty area. Down went Harder. Nothing against the referee's judgment. Rolled out now by Flecken to this near side. Tapsoba plays it to the feet of Marza, and he turns away from Diomande really well and still carries on and slides it through to Patrick Schick, who's racing in on goal. This time he tucks it away. No doubt about it. Patrick Schick at the double, and Leverkusen have put Leipzig to the sword. Another brilliant counter move from Bayer Leverkusen, and Patrick Schick has doubled his tally for the day. It's Leverkusen 3, Leipzig 0. A touch of class is being sung all around the stadium, but you have to say it was a touch of class from Ibrahim Marza, who took the ball brilliantly and slid the ball into Patrick Schick. The most textbook of counter-attacks, timed the ball to perfection, and Schick opens his body up to curl one in to the bottom corner. Easy as you like, no chance for Van der Voort in the Leipzig goal, and Kasper Hjulman is punching the air in delight because Patrick Schick has doubled his tally for the day and has trebled the lead for Bayer Leverkusen. The Leipzig players can only stare and watch on as Leverkusen continue to wheel away in celebration. And in the 77th minute, we are going to see finally some changes from Kasper Hjulman. Nathan Teller and Montreal Kulbreth have been withdrawn, and in their places come Arthur and Ernest Poku. Ernest Poku is the other sub, so it's Ernest Poku and Arthur in place of Kulbreth and Teller for the final 13 or so minutes of this encounter, of this penultimate Topspiel in the Bundesliga season. One that has been brilliantly played by Bayer Leverkusen. Just having a look at the statistics while Leverkusen played around the back. 57% possession. Okay, they haven't dominated with the ball, but 22 shots to 12, 7 of which were on target. They have been ruthless going forward. Leipzig will want to stay in the clean sheet though, as Schlager drives towards the penalty area, plays it out to the far side. Gruda looks to curl one, and Flecken makes a save. Had to be sharp there, the Dutchman, to get down and deny Gruda there. I wonder if Schlager could have taken the shot on instead as he drove into the box there. But still Leipzig have it. Diomande Takes it beyond Arthur and drives towards the byline. Stands one in, but out came Flecken. And he makes a great claim. Really alert goalkeeping from Mark Flecken. And he's keeping Diomande and co at bay. Right off the head of Konrad Harder there. But Leverkusen have played themselves into trouble here. Ouedraogo to the feet of Harder on the edge of the D. Turns away from trouble. Here is Lukeba. Schlager. To Baumgartner. And now Finkgräfer towards his near side of the penalty area with Diomande again. Up against Arthur. Tips it infield. Harder. Tried to poke it into the penalty area and it's cleared away. Hacked away by Leipzig. Van der Voort has come a very long way to play the ball to this near side touchline. Finkgräfer into the centre circle with Orban. Out towards the far side now. Here is Gruda. And now Schlager. Towards this near side. Finkgräfer chips one in towards the back post. Thumped away by Tapsoba. Out towards the far side touchline again now. Gruda. Up against Grimaldo. Chips one in again towards the back post. Baumgartner got his head to it. And he finds the bottom corner. And with 10 minutes to go, Leipzig have finally got themselves on the score sheet. And is there a way back in the game now? It's a lovely cushioned header by Christoph Baumgartner, who drifted in at the back post in between Kwanzaa and Arthur there. It was a great header. Flecken is furious with his defence. No clean sheet for the Dutchman on his return. But take nothing away from that header from Baumgartner. And all of a sudden, it's game on. Leverkusen 3, Leipzig 1. Out on the far side touchline, Grimaldo plays a loose ball. And now all of a sudden, the Leipzig tails are up. Ouedraogo comes to Finkgräfer now, driving forward with the ball. Has an option to this near side. It's Diomande. Up against Arthur. Couple of step overs. Diomande drives past, puts the ball into the mixer. It's only half cleared. Ouedraogo picks it up. Here's Lukeba. Now here's Diomande again, up against Arthur again. Step overs galore. Gets it back from Baku. Ball across the face, a goal. It was begging to be tapped home, but there's no one in a white shirt. And it goes beyond and out of play for a goal kick. Wow, that was nifty bit of footwork from Diomande. Got it back from Baku. And he fizzed one across the face, a goal. If Konrad Harder was just a little further in front, that would have been 3-2 for sure. Head in hands moment for Ole Werner. And all of a sudden it's got a little bit more tense now in the Bayer Arena. Flecken with this long goal kick towards the far side touchline. Tapsoba was a target, headed back in play by Orban over there. Schlager went down. It's a throw-in. In which direction? I didn't see the official waving, but I think it was a Leverkusen throw-in, and indeed it is. Tapsoba has taken control of the ball. Just creeping closer and closer towards the Leipzig goal. It's a poor throw-in, actually. It's won back by the visitors. Finkgräfer. Now at the feet of Lukeba. Towards this near side, Baumgartner looks for a long ball, searching for the run of Ouedraogo. It's bounced in his favour here. Kwanzaa and Tapsoba having to come together to clear the ball. But they do get it away from danger. But again, it's picked up by Leipzig. The second ball won by the Roten Bullen. Schlager. First time sweep out towards the far side. Gruda has Baku out there for company. Infield it goes towards Schlager. He turns away from Schick. Out to the far side again. Baku chips it in. Harder's in the middle. Up in the air from Baumgartner. Still bouncing inside the penalty area. Gruda goes forward with it, but the referee is blown for a free kick. Leverkusen, the captain Robert Andrich, is down, clutching his face inside the penalty area. I think it was an arm that was left in there by Baumgartner. when he went up for the header, and he's gone over to apologise as Christoph Baumgartner. There is a cut on the face, actually, of Robert Andrich on the right cheek. So perhaps some attention needed for the Leverkusen captain. Leipzig have made another change in the meantime, their final alteration of the game, and it's Max Finkgräfer going off for Benjamin Henrich. So no side of David Raum today, the club captain for Leverkusen. But in the 84th minute, we are also going to see the end of the game for Patrick Schick, who has been superb up front today, doubled his tally in the game with a lovely pair of goals. Well worked by Leverkusen in the counter-attacking department. I thought I saw Patrick Schick go off the pitch, and I did in the end see him go off. And Leverkusen have actually made a double change. It's Maza and Garcia, actually, that have gone off. So Schick stayed on. I thought I saw Patrick Schick walking over to the sideline. It was Garcia and Maza that have come off. So Ezequiel Fernandez and Malik Tillman, I think, have come on for Bayer Leverkusen. Yep, confirmation that Aleix Garcia and Ibrahim Maza have gone off. Equi Fernandez and Malik Tillman have come on in their places. Yellow card has just been brandished out here to Malik Tillman. Literally seconds after coming on, he's entered the referee's book. So both sides have now made changes. Leipzig have used their full contingent now. Leverkusen still have one left over. 5 minutes to go at the Bayer Arena. 3-1 is the scoreline in favour of the home side. Leipzig just trying to work an opening here. And they thought they had a way back into it with Christoph Baumgartner's 13th of the season. Long crossfield switch in his direction, but it's overhit. And it will go harmlessly out of play for a goal kick. As I mentioned, that's Baumgartner's 13th goal of the season. A yellow card was shown to Christoph Baumgartner, I think, for the collision with Robert Andrich in the middle of the park. The 8th yellow of the season, in fact, for Baumgartner. Long ball is pumped forward then by Flecken out towards the far side. Pumped away by Orban. Schlager tried to play it down the line. Well kept in by Grimaldo. And he's won it back off of Tillman. Palacios pokes it on towards the far side. Poku. And he continued his run there. There's Poku, but it's just got away from him there. Trying to get the return ball from Equi Fernandez. But onwards it goes now. Here is Orban striding with the ball. On to Schlager. He's come deep to pick up the ball as Xaver Schlager. And now at the feet of Orban. Towards the far side now with Gruda driving infield. Plays it to the feet of Ouedraogo. On to Lukeba. He drives on with the ball, Lukeba. Can poke it to Diomande if he wants to. Eventually he does do so. Diomande keeps it away from Tillman. Drives away from Tillman. Does brilliantly. The cross, though, is really poor. And he's furious with himself with the cross there. Got it all wrong, did Jan Diomande. And that will fly harmlessly out of play for a goal kick. Well, what's next for these two? As I mentioned previously, Bayer Leverkusen have got a huge game against VfB Stuttgart. And as it stands, both sides are level on 58 points. With also Hoffenheim in the mix there as well, also on 58 points. So that is a battle for 4th place on the penultimate match day of the Bundesliga season. That will be a tasty one. And they'll finish their season at home to Hamburg on the 16th of May. And meanwhile for Leipzig, they've got to go at home first against St. Pauli, who are still trying to vie for survival in the Bundesliga, whether it be through the playoffs or not. And then they'll close out the season away at Freiburg. Here come Leipzig, though. It's 3-on-3. Grimaldo slides it through. Schick on a hat-trick. Tucks it away. But the flag goes up against Patrick Schick. It won't count. Thought for a second that was going to be a hat-trick for the Czech forward. We'll have a look, though, on the replay. Grimaldo was driving with the ball. Schick had made the run. Ooh, this could be very close, actually. I think Orban's trailing leg has kept Schick onside here. In the 90th minute, this could be a goal here. For me, from that position, it looked like the leg of Orban had kept Schick onside by a fraction of a yard. And we're just waiting for Tobias Welz to tell the crowd. Having a look at the pictures. The ball into the back of the net will count. Patrick Schick gets his hat-trick. It had to take a little bit of help from VAR to confirm it. But Leverkusen have their exclamation point on a statement victory in the quest for Champions League football. It started with the ball win back by Palacios, and Grimaldo took over, threaded the ball perfectly into Schick, and he slots it home. Thierry Henry style, opens his body up and caresses the ball into the far corner. Initially given as offside on the field, but having looked at the replays and drawn the lines, the goal counts, and Patrick Schick has yet another hat-trick for Bayer Leverkusen. It's his first of the season, actually, considering how prolific he has been in these colours. But it is 4-1 to the home side with 4 added minutes to play at the end of this game. And as I said, a statement of intent from Kasper Hjulmann's side. Ole Werner and his Leipzig team had the chance to clinch their place in the UEFA Champions League next season. They still have the opportunity to do so with 2 games to go. But they've got 3 teams breathing down their necks, breathing heavily down their necks. Leverkusen will jump up to 4th place on 58 points, level with Stuttgart and Hoffenheim. But their goal difference is the superior one at the moment. Thrown on the near side for RB Leipzig. And before that's going to be taken, we are going to see Patrick Schick be withdrawn to a standing ovation from everyone inside the Bayer Arena. I thought he was getting withdrawn earlier, but he got to stay on and had a chance to complete his hat-trick, which he did. He receives a hug from Kasper Hjulmann, and he will now take rest for the final 3 or so minutes. Christian Kofane comes back into the side and makes his first appearance since the home defeat to Augsburg, after being sidelined with a little injury. Free kick here for Leverkusen. About half the stoppage time has been played, and concerning here for RB Leipzig, Diomande just pulled up with his hamstring, or clutching his hamstring. We're just having a look now at the semi-automated graphics from the Kölner Keller, and having seen the graphics, it's a pretty clear gap between Schick and Orban's feet. And that gap is the reason, or the difference between a hat-trick or not for Patrick Schick. The fans are bouncing around here at the Bayer Arena. Leverkusen have thoroughly outclassed their East German counterparts, and they continue to drive forward with the ball. Poked on towards Poku on the far side. Driving into the penalty area, Poku. He takes a couple of touches before winding up at the feet of Ouedraogo. He tries to poke it forward, and Poku's won it back. Fernandez. Grimaldo comes inside to take control of the ball. There's not much time left in the game. A quick look at the wrist from Tobias Welz, and he blows for full time. A statement victory made by Bayer Leverkusen and Patrick Schick, who should be renamed to Hat-Trick Schick. 3 goals in a demolition of his former side. He had one in the first half, which was then added to by Nathan Teller on the stroke of half-time. He got his second in the 76th minute. Christoph Baumgartner nodded one in to make things interesting for the final 10 minutes, but then that man again, Patrick Schick, racing through, timing his run perfectly. It was given offside initially, but having looked at the images and the replays, the video assistant referee decided it was a goal. It's finished at the Bayer Arena. Bayer Leverkusen 4, RB Leipzig 1.